What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Somich coming at you for RacingDudes.com, and we are here to preview Friday's Troy Stakes. This is a Grade 3 coming from Saratoga, and it's none other than the return of the Breeders' Cup Turf Champion back to the U.S. here, Turf Sprint Champion, Golden Pal, who has looked absolutely phenomenal in the U.S. in the last two races. Went over to Europe, struggled at Ascot. That was a tough spot for him. Didn't break well. Ortiz wasn't quite ready to get him going. But now we're here back in the U.S., back at Saratoga, where Golden Pal is 2 for 2. This seems like a really logical spot for Golden Pal to come back and be able to get a W. But it's not as open and shut as you might expect. We've got Carotari in here, who is an absolute win machine. 6 for 29 career, 9 for 26 career with 6 seconds as well. Like Saratoga with 1 win and 1 second and 2 starts, and has the ability to push Golden Pal early. We'll see if he's able to actually do that. No one really has been able to do that stateside since Golden Pal started racing a few years back. There's a couple horses in here that I do like underneath, though. So I am going to put Golden Pal on top. I think it's going to be awfully tough to beat him. He loves this course. He is the fastest horse, should get the lead. If you're going to look for prices, though, I think you've got 2 different options. First off, let's talk about Yes and Yes. This is a horse who has absolutely transformed under David Donk. This is the first time in a 6-year-old season that Donk has had this horse. Came out, ran well in an N1X allowance, won that, jumped up to N2X, won that, N3X, won that, each time improving its numbers. Then went into the Grade 3 Forbidden Apple, going a mile. That was just a little bit too far. That was over Yes and Yes's head. We're getting back to a spot where I don't think the Grade 3 is out of the question. I think turf sprinting is the key here. Those first 3 races, all turf sprints. That Forbidden Apple was a 2-turn mile. Getting back to the turf sprint, I think, gives Yes and Yes a good shot. I love the fact we have tactical speed here. You're not going to be able to out-sprint Golden Pal to the lead, so you need to be able to come from off the pace a little bit to be able to pick up the pieces, and that's exactly what Yes and Yes can do. Right to the outside of Yes and Yes is Arzak. This is another one I think is really interesting. It's a 4-year-old by Not This Time. Great sire. It's a son of Giants Causeway. This horse sold for $575,000 at auction and had a coming out party, really, the last 3 races. This 4-year-old season has been phenomenal. This is the first time we're going to be in the U.S. in the 4-year-old season with the 3 previous races at Woodbine. But if you look at that last race specifically, the Grade 2 Highlander faced Bound for Nowhere, who, very, very good Wesley Ward horse there in his own right. Got the lead in the stretch, ends up losing by a length, but absolutely fought back. Got a 96 buyer, a career high. Another horse is clearly on the uptick. So I think Arzak is awfully interesting as well. Again, I'm going to put Golden Pal on top. I think he makes the absolute most sense here. Should be able to get the lead, but let's try and sprinkle some prices underneath. Let's use Yes and Yes, and let's use Arzak and see if we can get a nice little try home. Thank you very much for checking out this preview of Friday's Troy from Saratoga. It's a Grade 3 turf sprint going 5.5 on the turf. It should be an absolute blast to watch from a race perspective. The return of Golden Pal is really exciting. See if he's able to get it done here. Make sure you're checking out YouTube.com/RacingDudes for all of our previews over this weekend. And make sure you're checking out Dudes Who Bet Daily every day from Wednesday to Sunday at noon Eastern for our best bets of the day from Saratoga, Del Mar, and across the sports world. We'll see you at the track.